Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos, and today we're going to be breaking down the trailer, extended trailer actually, for the 6th season of The 100. Now, to get started, the trailer does seem to have given away a lot here, in terms of, at the very least, the major plot points and themes the series is going to be working with over the course of Season 6. It all starts with a little bit of the finale of Season 5, which does seem like a little bit of a recap as well, but nonetheless, I don't think that's exactly the purpose of that part of the beginning of the trailer, like the recap bit. Let's talk about that in detail in a moment though. The trailer also ends with "Welcome to Sanctum." Never so great when you hear these words at the end of the trailer, "Welcome to anywhere." Generally speaking, 9 out of 10 times, and as evident on this trailer, it's never really a real welcome message. There's something behind it, a lot more, and it means that trouble is coming. Now, I'm not going to go wasting your time presenting you with a 4-minute trailer that you've already probably watched, considering it's 2 days now that it's been out. But instead, I'm going to be presenting you with one bit at a time, breaking it down, and then moving on to the next bit out of that trailer. So, let's get started with the first part of this trailer, the first bit out of this trailer, in Monty's message.
Can you see it? Is it beautiful? I hope we do better there. I hope Jasper was wrong, and we aren't the problem. I hope your lives there will be as happy as mine has been. Be the good guys.
Okay, so yeah, it is kind of a recap, and yeah, it is kind of reminding us of the fact that they found this new planet after Earth has been destroyed. But there is also the selection of words out of Monty's message. I hope we do better there. I hope that Jasper was wrong and we aren't the problem. I hope your lives there will be as happy as mine has been. Now we know that for this series to work, for the theme of this series to work, their lives over there should not be as happy as his has been. So that's not gonna work anyway. But more importantly, was Jasper really wrong? Because these people are coming to this new planet with a lot of baggage that's kind of discussed on this trailer. And this baggage is gonna make them make the bad choices, the very same bad choices that they have made all along. But once again, Jasper's words kind of match very well with the words of Russel later on in this trailer. Russel, by the way, being the new character we're going to be meeting as the leader of the people of Sanctum. And when Clarke tells him that they can change, meaning her and her people, he tells her that he knows they want to, but that he also thinks they can change. Now that is once again supported by the statement of Raven to Clarke early on in the events of this trailer. Every time you do something horrible, you say "I'm sorry," and then you do it again. That's really been the MO of Clarke since the very first season. And yeah, she has good intentions and whatnot, but she's always done the same mistakes, repeated the same mistakes, done whatever she thinks is right, even though in a lot of situations and in a lot of scenarios, her choices, her decisions have always led a lot of people into a whole lot of trouble. But we'll get back to that in a moment though. The title of the premiere of the season is Sanctum. The team, as of the end of this part of the trailer, do arrive at Sanctum. They do get off their ship, and then we read Book 2. Now I know the words Book 2 are kind of confusing. The very words end of Book 1 at the very end of Season 5 were kind of confusing as well. Like seriously, is all of this just out of one book? And the truth is that's not really the case. The situation with the books and the series is kind of a little bit complicated. Now the series got nothing to do with the books. It was more like there was an idea kind of situation, bringing together this group of people, sending them to Earth and whatnot, and author Cass Morgan went ahead and started writing the books, while on the other hand, Jason Rothenberg went ahead and started producing this series at the very same time. And while the first book was still being written, the first book did release before the release of the first season, but nonetheless they both went separate ways, completely separate ways. So that black screen at the very end of Season 5, the end of Book 1, that's really about the end of Book 1 from the perspective of the producer of the series, not the real novel or the real book. The same does apply for Book 2 on the season. This is the beginning of Book 2 from the perspective of the producers and the writers of the series, the book that they are writing, and not really the Cass Morgan books. But here though is what we've got next on this trailer.
Abby, everything we did, everything that happened so we could get here.
I believe that too.
So we've got a new plotline out of this. We've got the Believers plotline, the Jaw kind of plotline, except without all the crazy. Now this particular theme or plotline of this season is going to be served by none other than Marcus and Abby. So my assumption over here, for a decent while at the very start of the season, these two are most probably going to be making a lot of wrong decisions, a lot of bad choices in order to serve this kind of belief. But moving on to the next part of the trailer.
You called me every day for 6 years, and you left me to die in the fighting pits.
I'm so sorry, Bellamy. Every time that you do something horrible, you say you're sorry, and then you do it again.
Okay, so 3 to 4 things to be talking about over here. Number 1, we've got the fact that Bellamy's got issues with Clarke, got problems with her. That's part of the baggage I was talking about early on. So yeah, this team might have seemed to have woken up, this team might have seemed to, be ready to embrace the future, embrace what's coming, but nonetheless, the baggage is not going to allow them to completely embrace it. The same does go for what we watch with Raven and Clarke. Every time you do something horrible, you say you're sorry, and then you go around and do it again. Now this theme though does not really stop with Clarke. A lot of people are going to have baggage, a lot of people are going to have bad blood with one another, and obviously that includes Octavia and Bellamy as we see on the following scene on this trailer. But before we get there is something about this planet, something about the scenery on this planet, something that feels inspired by the Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come, the version of heaven on that movie. And the version of heaven on that movie, when we watch it at the very beginning, does sound extremely tempting, extremely beautiful, but it does come at a price. The price over there for happiness in this heavenly place was him having to venture into hell and then into purgatory in order to retrieve his wife. The price tag did involve as well the risk of him losing his mind, and he almost did, just like his wife did in purgatory. In a similar way, and as indicated on this trailer, there is a price to be paid. It's not going to be all black and white, neither will it be all colorful and happy all the way. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of similarities over here. It's not just the colorfulness of the place, there is the fact that we get to know about the psychosis situation going on, and in a way, that's basically equivalent to the losing his mind bit, going to retrieve his wife, losing his mind in the process, or almost doing so. But let's watch more out of this trailer.
Am I a monster? Yes, I am.
My sister died a long time ago.
Salvation comes from faith and good works. You haven't done anything yet.
So just like Miles disapproved of a lot of stuff on Season 5, disapproved of McCreary, disapproved of a lot of choices made by a lot of people on Season 5, he's going to be like the moral compass of this group. He's the only outsider, he doesn't have any real beef with any one of them, and he doesn't have any bad blood from past events, and he can basically tell them where they go wrong. On another note, we're getting more images of Sanctum, more moments in Sanctum. We're getting an image of what Sanctum looks like on the inside, but more on that in a moment though, when Clarke starts describing it in more detail.
What's your name?
Clarke Griffin. What's yours? From what I've seen, these people are happy. Their world works. We destroyed ours. If anyone needs a fresh start, it's us.
Alright, so first of all we get Clarke meeting up with Russel for the very first time. What's your name? Clarke. What's yours? And I'm assuming he's not going to hide that one. He's going to tell her, I'm Russel, leader of these awesome people, this peaceful community. And right after that we're probably going to get the scene from the end of the trailer, welcoming everyone to Sanctum. But right after this scene though, Clarke goes and describes the place. It's an awesome place, it's a peaceful place. These people in this place that they're arriving at for the very first time have found their way to happiness. Now Clarke does as well talk about new beginnings, and that if there is anyone who needs such beginnings, it's gonna be her and her people. Now as I mentioned before, and as the trailer kind of indicates later on, this place is not all that it seems. I think one of the analogies that came to mind over here is the Tahiti analogy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, Tahiti, it's a magical place. That's how Clarke views this place. It is a magical place, it is heavenly, it's amazing, but the truth is, Tahiti was never what Coulson thought it was. Tahiti was a project that revived him, and it was all kind of painful. I mean, he had to beg them to let him die. But moving on, the mountain as well that we do see on this trailer kind of reminded me of Mount Weather. Mount Weather, of course, was not as colorful as this one. It was not as pleasant looking as this one. And let us not forget that with Mount Weather, the people lived on the inside, while over here, they do live on the outside. But nonetheless, the fact that it did remind me of Mount Weather kind of made me think maybe it's here to kind of distinguish this new society from the one we saw in that other arc, but also to present us with the similarities between both societies, between both cultures. But seeing Clarke as well in one of these scenes, she's all dressed up, she's in a club, that all indicates that they're kind of trying to go for new starts. And to go for these new starts or new beginnings, what they're doing over here is kind of separating themselves from one another. Because in all these scenes, you don't see them together. You only see them together, our usual suspects from the previous 5 seasons, either early on in the events of the trailer, when they're basically arriving at Sanctum, or later on in the events of the trailer. So basically, when things go all crappy and all shitty for them.
Looks like the suns are eclipsing.
I feel it!
The stars align and the forest wakes. It's time to run away.
Now obviously from the very first couple of scenes on this trailer, we noticed that this planet has got 2 suns. And from these couple of scenes and from what Clarke says, obviously the suns are eclipsing. And we've got next some sort of book or some sort of scripture for these people, the people of Sanctum, about the red sun rising. Now obviously from the cover of that book or from the first page with the title, Red Sun Rising, it does seem like everything is gonna change, everything is gonna go all bloody red. Yeah, there's a little bit of green over there, but it's kind of the transformation phase. What Bellamy says over there, the stars align and the forest wakes, I think that's right out of that book. There's talk later on as well on this trailer about psychosis, about this eclipse causing psychosis, even though whoever mentions that, and I don't believe I know that voice, happens to make it clear that this eclipse-induced psychosis is not the scariest thing in this place. It's not really the thing that you should fear the most when it comes to Sanctum, or to this planet in general. Now obviously psychosis is going to cause a lot of people, whether they're part of the 100 team or whether they are part of Sanctum, to start attacking other people. Now that is not going to be caused by their evil tendencies and whatnot, but rather by the fact that they cannot distinguish between real and not real. So they will see threats that are not really existent, they will feel threatened by other people who might be extremely peaceful at that moment, and they're just going to start attacking one another. Now one thing I'm thinking over here is there's a lot more beyond that this is not just a story about 2 suns eclipsing. It doesn't necessarily require that someone is controlling the 2 suns or the eclipse of the 2 suns. I mean, that's quite impossible. But maybe someone is in control of the outcome. Someone is basically doing something in order to make sure that this psychosis situation comes into effect.
There are worse things in this world than eclipse-induced psychosis. What's out there?
There are things and people in these woods that want us dead. If you fall behind, you will be.
I have no idea how to survive down here.
Alright, so first and foremost, we've got Clarke talking about something that needs to be turned off. She's actually literally screaming, "Turn it off." And I think that's all about whatever it is that's causing this psychosis. It's not really the suns, we're going to realize that. It's something else, something that they do. Something in the air, something in the water. Whatever it is, it's something that's being induced by someone else in order to either strengthen the beliefs of the people of Sanctum, like you were told this is the case and this is really the case, or it is possibly something that's being done to thin the herd. And possibly that herd, the target herd over here, just happened to be Clarke and her people. But there's more that we notice over here. There's the thing that looks like a scary-ass looking snake that was worth noting, even though I don't have any clue what that is. Obviously as well, Echo screaming over here is either out of physical torture, but the way she got her hand on her ears makes it feel like it is something at the core of her nervous system. Obviously, as well, on another scene, we do notice that her torture either way, be it nervous or physical, is being watched by Emori or being induced by Emori, and she's really enjoying it. I'm assuming that's all part of the eclipse-induced psychosis. But then comes the concept I was talking about, the what dreams may come concept, the purgatory, the hell, the people out there who wants them dead. That is actually followed by the admission of Clarke of their inability or lack of knowledge when it comes to surviving on this planet. I think it's an indication of how Clarke is going to be acting or reacting to things in this season. She's kind of changing. She's not the know-it-all, she's not making the decisions on her own, and at the very least, she's actually admitting that she doesn't know what to do. Once again though, let's check out more scenes out of this trailer and break them down.
The harder you fight, the faster you die.
But my child is out there, so I'm going to get her.
In my dreams, I see a commander who frightens me.
These people are dangerous. They will burn this world down, just like their last one.
We can change.
I believe you want to, Clarke. I just don't believe you can.
Alright, so Clarke's main motivator is obviously Maddie. So pretty much her core motivation on Season 5 continues over the course of Season 6, bringing about what Raven was talking about earlier on the trailer. You do the same thing, you apologize, and then you go about and do it again. Now there's also Russel talking about, these people having burned down their own world and how they will burn this one down. So as welcoming as this new character, the leader of this new world is, of the 100 and whoever comes with them, he's still skeptical about their behavior and about what they've done to Earth. Now does that make him a bad guy? In an SJW scenario, yes, everyone is going to claim he is bad, but nonetheless, he's not really bad for trying to protect his people. I mean, it's not like he's pushing away innocent refugees, he's pushing away the same people who were basically front and center in everything that happened over the course of the past 5 seasons, all the way up until the destruction of Earth. But we've got another plot thread over here, Maddie talking about seeing this commander in her dreams, and he frightens her. On another scene on this trailer as well that I'm going to be sharing with you in a moment here, she seems to be connected to this equipment. And it seems like it has something to do with her dreams, like with giving her dreams or inducing dreams. So it is possible that Maddie is seeing all of this because of something that the people of Sanctum, or the people outside the borders of Sanctum, have induced in Maddie. But let us though take one final look at what remains of this trailer.
Wow, look at that. This one's unlocked.
If I could, I'd go back and do things differently. But I can't. None of us can.
I saw something. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hell.
What do you want from me?
Welcome to Sanctum.
Alright, so here's what we got out of this. The way Murphy wakes up on those final couple of minutes of this extremely lengthy trailer, the way he seems to spearhead the team later on, possibly makes me think he's destined to greatness this season. Like his role is gonna be bigger, and that he's possibly gonna act as more of a leader of the 100. The other thing that we do notice over here is Maddie meeting with that commander, sitting with him or her at the same table, and I'm imagining over here that this commander is basically Maddie, the future of Maddie. In all cases, that commander seems to be a big thing on this season. But the one other major thing that we notice over here is that obviously everyone is going to be dealing with their past. Everyone is going to be facing their demons, as the tagline for the trailer indicates. And out of these people facing their own past, haunted by their own past, Octavia v. Octavia in the pit is actually my favorite. It's going to be a great scene, I suppose. But now we have the final words on this trailer, Welcome to Sanctum, the words said by Russel. And the placement of the words, Welcome to Sanctum, at the very end of the trailer by Russel could be either a red herring or could be indicative of the fact that he's actually one of the villains on the upcoming season of the series. I mean, when have you ever watched a trailer like this where some guy at the end of the trailer goes like, Welcome to whatever, and he's actually the good guy? Now, I cannot say it's a non-existent trope, but it is an almost non-existent trope. With that being said, let me know in the comments what you thought of the trailer. Let me know if you did like this video by dropping it a much appreciated like, subscribing to this channel, and enabling notifications for my future videos, community posts, and live streams. But until the next time you tune in for another one of my videos, the 100 or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in to this one, and have a great day.